I don't want to hear one word about your fucking Jaguars shit from last week.
Dude, you just gotta give me credit because you said week 8 with the Saints that wasn't gonna happen. It happened. Then you said last week with the Jags it wasn't gonna happen, and it happened. And it
Who's
might
winning?
upset this.
Who's
Who's
winning?
winning?
Yeah, who's winning? Don't talk shit about my picks. What is going on, guys? Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and I am joined, as I am always, by Ben. Ben, it's week 10 of the NFL season. We both have teams that still suck, but the games are getting a little bit more intense as we get towards the end, but we do have that extra week. The midseason awards was posted Sunday, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. But Ben, it's week 10. How you feeling?
Well, at least one of our teams is projected to be in the playoffs at the moment, but I'm not gonna sit here and say they're gonna make it. They're 4-4, and the only reason they're even somewhat in there is they got lucky against the Saints. I will call it how I see it. They got extremely lucky last week.
The current score for Nick's picks is 105 to 101. I still maintain a 4-point lead on Ben going into week 10 of the regular season. A lot still to happen. Still have the postseason to get points, and we still have the preseason picks originally that we can get points on from getting division winners and whatnot. So a lot still to be said. So a 4-point advantage does not mean anything at this point. We still don't have a bet. You know what? At this point, if we do come up with a bet, I don't think I'm going to tell you guys. I think we're just going to keep it a secret, and you'll have to wait and see in the Super Bowl special. Since I'm doing the score every week, we won't keep the score a secret. We'll keep the bet a secret. Fuck it. We're going to do that. I've declared the bet is a secret going forward until the Super Bowl special. Never mind the fact we just currently don't have one yet. The bet's a secret.
No, they don't know that. Maybe we do have it, and we're just still keeping it a secret.
So we start off week 10, as we do every week, with the game of the week. And my game of the week is the Cleveland Browns going up against the New England Patriots. Now, there weren't that many great games this week to go through, but the Cleveland Browns did go up against the Cincinnati Bengals, who we both talked about in the midseason awards as a very underrated team and very shocked with how well they've been doing this season. Well, they absolutely shit the bed against Cleveland. Or you can say Cleveland had a really great game. Not 100% sure how you want to look at it, but they go up against the New England Patriots. Now, it's in New England, and New England has been playing well themselves. So I do think that this is going to be a very interesting game. I do believe Nick Chubb just tested positive for COVID, so he is out for this game, which is huge because now that Derrick Henry is out, I mean, to me, Nick Chubb is probably the best running back in the league right now, outside of obviously Derrick Henry being out. But I do think that is a huge loss for the Cleveland Browns. However, I do still have the Cleveland Browns winning this game 30-27 over the New England Patriots. I feel like with Nick Chubb, it just would have been a lot closer. As of today, Odell Beckham Jr. has cleared waivers, so he doesn't have a team yet, but he's definitely not a Cleveland Brown anymore. So we'll see how they do without him. But 30-27, I do have the Cleveland Browns beating the New England Patriots.
So my game of the week is going to be a divisional matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Las Vegas Raiders. Both these teams have had pretty underwhelming or overwhelming seasons, depending on how you look at it. I think the Chiefs are better than what their record is. They just had a lot of inconsistencies going on, and then the Raiders have just had a lot of off-the-field problems. But either way, I still think the Chiefs are the better team, and I have them winning this game 24-21. I do have something about that in my 2-point that doesn't really, in my opinion, affect the outcome of the game, but it's just something that I could see happening. But again, I do think the Chiefs will win this one. I think if they win, they will now be leading the division, but I could be wrong on that.
I think they'll still be behind the Chargers if the Chargers win.
Yeah, they'll actually be behind the Chargers because of the tiebreaker. Oh, no, they won't. If the Chargers lose and the Chiefs win, they will, because everyone has 5 wins in that division.
Well, speaking of the Los Angeles Chargers, we move on to the upset pick of the week. And could you guess who I have getting upset this week, Ben, after what I just said?
Picking the Jets.
Yeah, the Jets beating the Bills. Fuck you. I have the Los Angeles Chargers going up against the Minnesota Vikings this week. So obviously I do have the Minnesota Vikings beating the Chargers 23-20 against the Los Angeles Chargers. So there's a couple reasons why I wanted to do this game. I feel like the Vikings have gotten shafted quite a few times this season. They're in literally all of their games. It doesn't matter who they play, whether they're a division leading team or if they're playing, a crap team. They're in every single one of their games. And to currently have they're 3-5 or 3-4, 4-5, I don't know what they are. But the fact that the Vikings don't have a better record than they do, it just must be hard for Vikings fans because they're literally playing better than half the teams that they play against. They just aren't winning the games. They're losing at the end. I really don't know. I haven't been actually watching Vikings games, to be completely honest with you. But I do know that it's been hard for Vikings fans this season. They go up against the Chargers. The Chargers, to me, have had a very underwhelming season. I thought that, especially in a season so far where the Kansas City Chiefs has struggled as much as they have, I do think that this is a year that the Chargers should, based on what me and Ben said at the beginning of the season, the Chargers should be 7-1 right now, or 8-1 or 7-2, something like that, to where they're easily winning this division and have no chance of the Chiefs catching up to them. Well, as we were just talking about, if the Chiefs win, Chargers lose, the Chiefs own the division at the moment. So it's like, the Chargers, as good as we thought they were going to be at the beginning of the season, have been very underwhelming. So this is a game that, can the Vikings just get over that hump and win a damn game? I'll give them the option here, 23-20 over the Los Angeles Chargers.
So mine, I'm going to try and go back-to-back on upsets here, hopefully. Mine is going to be one that I think you're probably going to call me even more crazy. Actually, no, I think my last week was actually more crazy. But mine is the Cardinals losing to the Carolina Panthers. And the only reason why I feel more confident in this is that there's a chance that Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins are both out. And I think even if they are out, the fact that they could still beat the Niners still shows they're still a very well-rounded team. So I think the Panthers this is a trap game, and I think the Panthers win this one 28-21 over the Arizona Cardinals, who I think are first or second still in the NFC or even in the league still. So took down Bills Mafia. Can I take down the Arizona Cardinals?
That honestly did surprise me. You didn't tell me that one beforehand, so that one surprised me. I do want to point out though, as pissed as I am at you for that Bills correctness last week, some of the anger has left my body, and this is the reason for that. The Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Buffalo Bills last week. It is the first, I don't know if you saw this meme, but it's hilarious. And I don't know how true this is, but if this is facts, and please somebody fact check this, this is amazing. The Jacksonville Jaguars win against the Buffalo Bills Sunday was their first win on American soil because they had a win in London. Their first win on American soil in 420 days, and the final score was 6-9.
If that is true, in editing, double check this, please.
Please, somebody. I'm not going to fact check that. That's going to take forever to fact check. Please, somebody.
I might fact check that because if that is true,
please do that for me. So we move on to our picks of the week. Now the New York Giants are finally on their bye week at week 10 of the regular season. I kind of like it when they have late bye weeks, but at the same time, it is what it is. Ben will have to talk about the Falcons going up against the Cowboys, which I will be rooting for you this week for once, but it is what it is. The Cowboys lost last week to Denver pretty badly, so you have a shot. But while the Giants are on their bye week, I will be talking about the New York Giants and the state that they're in right now. Now, me and Ben were talking about this last week. Now, the Giants are coming off a win against the Las Vegas Raiders last week in a game that, the Las Vegas Raiders are leading the AFC West at the moment, but I didn't think the Raiders were all that good to begin with. I even said that in the midseason awards. So the fact that the Giants beat them wasn't like oh wow upset. I feel like I finally have my final opinions on Daniel Jones, and that basically is he's a better Kirk Cousins. And what I mean by that is he's more mobile than Kirk Cousins, so he's got more tools and more options that you can use with him in a playbook. But is he an Aaron Rod? Is he ever going to be an Aaron Rodgers? Is he ever going to be a Dak Prescott? Is he ever going to be even a Kyler Murray or Deshaun Watson or Patrick? Just somebody that you get excited about every game watching? No, I don't think so. But he's going to be a franchise guy. Does that mean he can't win a Super Bowl? I mean, Ben convinced me, no, that doesn't mean he can't win a Super Bowl. Eli was not a very exciting quarterback. He was a very, I would have to say, system quarterback, but he got the job done twice. Nick Foles got the job done, and the biggest,
one we both had to fact check.
We both had to think about for a second. Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl, so it's possible. Daniel Jones could win a Super Bowl at the Giants, but it would take a lot of team around him, and now the defense has been stellar these last couple weeks, and if we can hold some of these defensive players for a little while, I know Bradbury was on the trade block. I know we have a lot of young talent. Peppers was potentially on the trade block, but he got hurt, so thank God. I mean, I hate to say that, but thank God. So hopefully we hold on to some of these young players because this defense is very good, and the offense has the weapons. Just God damn it, give us an O-line.
So much in me. Like so much. It took a lot in me to not be a homer, to think with my brain and not my heart. And I do, unfortunately, have to say that Dallas is going to win this one. It sucks for me to say, even though they did lose to Denver. And that was where I was like, I was like, maybe I was like, you know what? I thought about it more. I was like, Denver, even without Von Miller, still has a better defense than Atlanta. So I was like, I can't go that far just yet. So I have the Falcons losing to Dallas 28-20. And
I have 28-23.
I need you to stop. No, Dallas is a better team. Even when they lose to Denver, they're a better team.
Okay, so moving on to the wild card games, and speaking of Denver, I have the Denver Broncos going up against another NFC East team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I really didn't know what wild card game to pick, and I looked at this game, I'm like, I don't think either of us have talked about the Eagles once this year, and I know I have a bunch of Eagle fan friends, and fuck all of you, by the way. And I know I do have a couple Denver Bronco fan friends / family. And I don't think I've ever talked about the Denver Broncos other than the fact that I think they're overrated. Well, the Denver Broncos beat the Dallas Cowboys last week in a very convincing fashion game. And when I say that, I don't mean that I think the Denver Broncos are any better than I thought they were 2 weeks ago or a week ago or whatever. I do still think they're overrated. I do still think they're the maybe second worst team in that division. But I do think that their defense is a lot better than we give them credit for. After losing Von Miller, they absolutely played insane against a very high-powered Dallas offense who had Dak back. So it's not like they were going up against Cooper Rush in this Dallas offense. They were going up against Dallas who, a couple weeks ago I was saying Dallas's offense is like Kansas City's where they could almost score at will. So the fact that Denver shut them out for a good 3 quarters and then, gave them a couple touchdowns there near the end, but still managed to get the job done. I do think that they can beat this Philadelphia Eagles team that has shown signs of life this season, but their defense is just atrocious, first of all. And their offense, I think, just has too many problems, and I feel like the Eagles just make too many mistakes on their own to win key games. And I do have the Denver Broncos winning this one 30-24 over the Philadelphia Eagles. Same amount of points they scored last week against the Cowboys, but I'm giving the Eagles a little bit more points than the Cowboys last week just because I don't think Denver's defense performs that well 2 weeks in a row.
My wild card game is going to be 2 Southern teams, and that is the Tennessee Titans pulling up a very convincing upset against the LA Rams on Sunday Night Football, and the Saints, who also got upset by my team, which honestly makes my heart grow a little bit. It makes me happy when we beat the Saints. But that being said, the Derrick Henry-less Titans still looked pretty good. I think they'll continue that at least for one more week against the Saints. And that's why I have them, the Titans win this one 27-24 over New Orleans. And really the only reason why is because it's in Tennessee. I think it was in New Orleans. I would probably give it to the Saints, which is why it's a close game in my opinion. But I do have Tennessee winning this one, 27-24 over New Orleans. And anytime the Saints lose, makes me happy.
All right, so those are our picks for the week. Here are all the picks that we didn't talk about, whether it was me or Ben. We did not talk about these games. So if your favorite team is in these games, go ahead and pause, find them, see what we said, cry about it, or laugh about it. Don't really give a shit. These are our picks. All right, so the final segment, as always, of Nick's picks is the 2-point conversion. And as Ben was just talking about, the Derrick Henry-less Tennessee Titans. That is a mouthful. I don't know how you got that right the first time. Actually performed fairly well last week against a very high-powered Los Angeles Rams team. Actually beat the Los Angeles Rams, and a lot of it had to do with their defense, which at the beginning of the season had a lot of question marks because they were awful last year and didn't do a whole lot in the offseason to help it out. So we had a lot of question marks on the Tennessee Titans defense. And they absolutely outperformed the Los Angeles Rams last week. So that was very shocking to both of us. But last week in the midseason awards, at the very end of the award show, I gave a shout out to a bunch of players that we didn't mention in the awards that I felt deserved a shout out. And one player that I got to thinking about after the award show and after it was posted and watching it back, I was like, you know what? After losing Derrick Henry, I don't think Ryan Tannehill is getting quite the credit he's deserving for the fact that he's leading this offense. And I hate to say it, I know you're a huge Julio Jones fan, but he has not been at all a helpful asset to this team this season. I think he's just been a huge cap hit and just a huge distraction, I guess, to the team. Because he's hurt every other fucking week. But, like I said, I don't think Ryan Tannehill is getting the credit he deserves. And I'm not going to give him, like, Patrick Mahomes-type numbers because, to be honest, he doesn't put up those kind of numbers. But I do think he is going to have a good game against this great Saints defense, which we've talked about all year, which has been just absolutely phenomenal. And the only reason that they've been in games because we don't like Jameis Winston at all. But Ryan Tannehill going for 350-plus passing yards and 3-plus touchdowns against the New Orleans Saints defense, I think would solidify the fact that he is absolutely leading this team without Derrick Henry and continues to make this Titans team contenders even without him. And I don't know if Derrick Henry's completely out for the season. Like, I don't know if it's a full run in the playoffs, if he could come back in, like, the AFC Championship, something like that. But with or without him, I do think Ryan Tannehill could potentially lead this team to something deep in the playoffs.
Well, you won't give him Patrick Mahomes type level or numbers, but I'm going to say that Derek Carr will outperform Patrick Mahomes. And even though, yes, I picked the Chiefs to win, I still think that Derek Carr has the talent and the weapons around him to throw for more passing yards than Patrick Mahomes. Yes, I still have the Chiefs winning, but I do think that because both these teams don't really have a run game, and even I would say more so with the Raiders, Carr's just going to sling it out and, just kind of just gung-ho, just say, you know what, fuck it. Darren Waller's there somewhere and just go for more yards, but I do think the Chiefs will still hold on to win that game.
This is where Ben chooses pick from both sides of the spectrum, so he guarantees himself 2 points.
Hey, there is still a chance. I mean, he can throw for more yards. He'll have 200 because they both might not throw for anything. So that still works for me.
That is it for Nick's Picks Week 10, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already. And you know what? Go ahead and hit that little bell that's right next to the subscribe button. I never asked for that, but go ahead and do that. It's free. Why not do it? Ben, is there anything you have to say before we head out?
If Atlanta beats Dallas, I'm 100% going full homer mode and saying Atlanta's going to the playoffs because they could have a chance.
We talked about it. The Giants and the Falcons both have a lot of winnable games left. So
if Atlanta makes
the Cowboys was not one of those winnable games that we were looking at. So that's just a bonus game at that point. But guys,
if Atlanta beats Dallas, I'll be very surprised.
Like I said, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like. Have a good one, guys. Great one. Have a great one, guys. Peace.
Deuces.